Ever felt something so intense for someone that it physically hurt to be away from them? Your heart raced every time they texted back. Your mind went completely blank when they walked into the room, and you called it love. You were sure of it. But then weeks later, maybe months, something shifted. The intensity faded, and suddenly you found yourself wondering, did I actually love them? Or was I just completely consumed by something else? So why does this happen? Why does lust feel so much like love? And why does it fool even the smartest, most self-aware people? Today we're exploring the psychology behind lust versus love, what's actually happening in your brain, and how to tell the difference before it costs you. But before we get into it, Psychology Vault. Our goal is to make psychology feel real and accessible so you can better understand your emotions, relationships, and why you are the way you are. If our videos have ever made you feel seen or helped you understand yourself a little better, consider subscribing, because we've got a lot more coming. Because the truth is, lust is one of the most convincing liars your brain will ever meet. Let's get into it. 1. Your brain on lust looks a lot like your brain on drugs. When we feel intense physical attraction towards someone, our brain floods with dopamine and norepinephrine, the same chemicals involved in addiction and excitement. Psychologists call this the limerence stage, a state of obsessive, involuntary attraction that feels overwhelming and urgent. It's not love. It's your brain's reward system firing at full volume. Think of it like loading into a new game for the first time. Everything feels electric and new. The graphics are stunning, the music hits different, and you can't put it down. But that feeling isn't the game being perfect. That's just novelty dopamine doing its thing. And lust works exactly the same way. 2. Lust is about the fantasy. Love is about the person. One of the clearest psychological differences between lust and love is what we're actually focused on. When we're in lust, we're not really seeing the other person. We're seeing the version of them our brain has constructed. Psychologists call this idealization. We unconsciously fill in gaps in what we know with what we want to be true. It's like watching a movie trailer and falling in love with a film you've never actually seen. The trailer was perfect, but the full movie? Completely different. Lust falls for the trailer. Love stays for the whole film, even the slow parts. 3. Lust needs distance to survive. Here's something most people don't realize. Lust actually thrives on uncertainty and distance. When someone is a little unavailable, a little mysterious, our brain interprets that gap as excitement. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. Unpredictable rewards trigger stronger emotional responses than consistent ones. It's the same psychology behind why mobile games give you random rewards instead of guaranteed ones. The unpredictability is the hook. So if you notice that your feelings for someone get stronger, the less available they are, that's not love deepening. That's lust being triggered by the chase. For love shows up in ordinary moments. Lust disappears in them. Real love tends to grow in the quiet, unglamorous moments, seeing someone stressed, tired, unfiltered, and still wanting to be near them. Lust, on the other hand, tends to fade when the novelty wears off and reality sets in. Psychologists refer to this shift as the transition from passionate love to companionate love, and research shows that genuine long-term connection is built on the second kind. Think about your favorite comfort show, the one you rewatch when you're exhausted and just need something familiar. That's companionate love. Lust is the show everyone obsesses over for one season then completely forgets about. 5. Your body knows the difference before your mind does. Lust tends to feel urgent, anxious, and slightly destabilizing, like you're constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Love tends to feel calming, grounding, and safe, even when things are imperfect. This is rooted in our nervous system. Lust activates our sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight response. Real emotional connection activates the parasympathetic system, rest and safety. So pay attention to how someone makes your body feel, not just how they make your heart race. Anxiety and excitement feel almost identical, but only one of them is actually good for you. 6. Time is the only test that actually works. Lust has a biological shelf life. Research in neuroscience suggests that the intense chemical rush of early attraction begins to naturally settle somewhere between 6 months and 2 years. What remains after that settling? Comfort, respect, genuine curiosity about who someone is. That's where love either exists or it doesn't. There's a reason most relationship conflicts erupt around the 1-year mark. The chemical high fades and suddenly you're left with the actual relationship. Think of it like an anime arc that starts with an incredible power-up, all energy and drama. But the real story only begins once the dust settles. 7. Lust wants. Love chooses. Perhaps the most important psychological distinction, lust is driven by wanting to receive. Love is driven by genuinely wanting to give. Lust asks, how do they make me feel? Love asks, how can I show up for them? Psychologists describe this shift as moving from object-based desire to person-centered care. It's the difference between wanting someone's presence and actually caring about their well-being. Even on days when that's inconvenient for you, lust consumes. Love contributes. Mistaking lust for love isn't a character flaw, it's how our brains are wired. But here's what you can do. Slow down. Ask yourself, do I want to be around this person, or do I just want the feeling they give me? Do I know who they actually are, or just who I imagine them to be? Would I still choose them on a completely ordinary, unremarkable Tuesday? Genuine love tends to be quieter than lust, less dramatic, more consistent, and far more sustainable. If you've ever confused lust for love, you are absolutely not alone. Our brains are wired to chase intensity. It's biology, not weakness. But understanding the difference gives you something incredibly powerful, the ability to choose connection over chemistry, and that changes everything. If this resonated with you, you might also like our videos, why you keep falling for the wrong person and what secure love actually feels like. And if Psychology Vault has helped you understand yourself even a little better, consider subscribing. We're building something real here, and we'd love to have you with us. Thanks so much for being here, and until next time, take care of yourself.